It's Wednesday afternoon, and don't check your calendars. You know what that means. It's a special edition of the Random Kristian Show. That's right, randomity in all of its best form, proudly brought to you by the SJ Network, bringing professional representation to artists, authors, and creators on all levels. Contact them at s-j-network.com. Also brought to you by Consolidated Skateboards, quality skateboarding decks and products, as well as shoes, shirts, and yes, even blankets, on the web at consolidatedskateboards.com or on Instagram at Consolidated Skateboards. Today, Kristian welcomes multiple award-winning and Clio-winning voiceover artist Marc Cashman of CashmanCommercials.com. If the voice in your head isn't yours, it's probably Marc's. He will also be joined by child actor turned publicist Steve Joyner, founder of the SJ Network. That's right, the same SJ Network that helps sponsor and promote this very podcast, and he can do the same for you. Plus, if there's time, we'll get to some random news from around the world. With us, as always, is the silver medalist at the 2021 Google Speed Search Championships, Matt E. My name is Andy, and I'm just happy that it's the time of year where you can ask a person for free host and not end up in lockout overnight. Now, here's your host, a man so random, his name was generated by a 1960s supercomputer, Kristian Random.
Well, what an introduction. Oh my God. I did not even know that. That was absolutely amazing. And now here I am.
Yep.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, sir. That was wonderful. Thank you, Andy.
You're welcome. No problem.
Well, and welcome to a Wednesday. Does it feel weird to you, bud? Feels
a little bit. Yeah, my week centers around a schedule, and it's weird throwing the wrench in here and there, but no, I'm good. You know, it's always great to jump on and talk. So
yes, right in the middle of the work week and your work day, and so you know it's you know what that means.
What does that mean?
You know what today is, right?
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day.
Hump day. Yep. Oh God, that just kind of never gets old in a way, but
it really doesn't.
Ironically,
it really doesn't.
Well, and soon it will. So, because we're gonna wear the hell out of it, you know that. So,
maybe.
Well, good. I'm so glad to have you. And let's see, where is it? There he is, Matt. I had no idea you had so many hidden talents.
Well, to be honest, there were. I was the only person competing in the Google thing, and yet the judges still were like, "No,
we can't give him the gold, silver medal." Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how talented that is, but I do what I can do.
We find what we can find, and we do what we can do, right?
That's right. But I am good at hassling you.
Oh, you are excellent at hassling me. And
do you have Discord on yet? And I've only asked you 3 times.
I know, Matt. And well, it's because I have notes on the same thing I'm using for. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. And if you're interested and you're out there,
because how much
because
hassling we're giving you right now.
just so everybody can see out there, I have enabled the chat per the instructions of my directors and cohorts. Hey, Joel checking in. Joel Carroll, author of the Book of Joel. Thank you, Joel, for checking in. Love you, brother. So we are very excited. I've got like you said, Mr. Marc Cashman. We've got so much to get into. So I'm not really going to be do much lollygagging as you guys like to, claim. And so I'm just going to probably just jump in here. But Matt, I will have my Discord up here shortly, my friend. So I just I'm technologically handicapped, and
well, I know that's why I keep asking you every 2 minutes. I do also want to mention that eventually we are going to allow everyone that wants to join us in the to intercourse with us. Is that the word I really want?
What?
No. To join us in Discord in our general chat room area. You can talk to other weirdos that watch the show or listen to it, however they enjoy the show or don't enjoy it. Let us know. But not today. Today we got to get Chris involved with the Discord first so that I can communicate to him through that. And then later we'll try. Oh, look, he did it. No, he's not in the right room yet.
What?
You're not in the private room. You're in the general room. You need to go in the office, buddy.
Andy. Yeah, go in the office.
Oh, yeah, Lord. You know, there's just okay, here we go.
Yeah, had I known the Discord was going to be so fancy, I would have worn fancier underwear.
I know.
Ooh. Yeah, I just got my my briefs on.
It is not the Random Christian Show After Dark. This is we're still daytime.
You know what? I'm sorry. You know, the whole day off thing just throws me, and that's just.
Oh crap! I think we lost Andy.
What do you mean?
No, you froze up there.
Sam.
You froze up. All right.
No, I stopped moving for a second. That's all.
And held your breath, and
I didn't freeze. Jeez.
All right. Well, anyway.
Okay. All right. So, all right. So, well, Matt, love having you here, and I love that you can talk to me through Discord now. And
awesome. I love talking to you any way I can.
Things are getting weird. Well, I'm going to say goodbye to Matt because I can. And
bye, everyone.
Here we go. Thanos snap.
Bye, Matt.
And now it's just me and you.
Oh, wow.
And your uncomfortable underwear, apparently.
Yes. No, it's not uncomfortable. Oh. It's just my everyday stuff. Like, you know, you have everyday stuff and then you have the fancy stuff.
Captain America or Iron Man today?
I don't do Marvel underwear. Come on, Superman.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Superman. Yeah. Well, let's not start that debate.
Yeah.
And I see Mark giving the thumbs up for Superman. So you've got a friend now. You've got a friend. Marc Cashman is man, what can't you say about Mark? I mean, the guy is, for years has been in voiceover. He, like you said, he is the guy you don't know who he is, but you know who he is, especially once you hear his voice and his voice acting abilities. He's been doing voiceover work for years on shows and commercials. He's so good. He started telling people how to do voiceover work, and he's even started his own commercial company. So let's just bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, Marc Cashman. Welcome to the show, Mark. Hello, sir.
Hey, guys. Hey, Kristian. Thank you so much for having me. Andy, thank you so much for having me as well. And again, pleasure being here.
Oh, it's an honor to have you on.
Thanks. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There we are. All right. Now you're in the big shot. So that's
oh boy.
I got you on the big screen here.
I'm not a big shot, but I'm in the big shot.
Well, right. Yeah. You're in the Vogue screen. There we go. Yeah. So Mark, okay. Again, it's kind of hard to explain to everybody because especially, as you know, some people just don't get voice acting. They're like, oh, and I heard you describe it this way, you just walk in, you read a script and you say something and you're done. No, it is not that easy. No. There is so much into voice acting and voiceover work. And you've been doing this now. Now, how long? When did you actually start doing the voice acting?
43 years ago.
Bam.
Yeah,
dude. Wow. Okay, so
I've been at it a little while.
just a little.
Just a little.
I feel like I've been at it about 43 minutes. So, what made you start doing the voice acting? I mean, where did the whole, firing your loins go to start up and go, I need to be speaking to people and talking to them in a professional manner?
Not that way, but but I actually, when I started doing this, and by the way, I apologize again, my voice is not completely normal. at this particular point. A couple of weeks ago, I had just contracted a terrible case of laryngitis, which is quite an occupational hazard. And so I'm still, I'm maybe at about 75-80%. I'm not quite well yet, but at least well enough to talk, because 2 weeks ago I couldn't even talk. But getting back to your question, how I started, actually, I came out to Los Angeles not to be a voice actor. I came out to be a commercial producer. And so when I first came to LA, I started specializing in radio. And as very, very soon after I started, as I started picking up clients, many of my clients said, "We want you to do to voice our product or service."
Huh.
And initially I pushed back because I was not a voice actor. I didn't come out here to be a voice actor. I came out to be a writer, copywriter, producer. But as my clients, more and more clients were saying, "Please, we'd like you to voice," I realized very, very quickly that I needed to get training and get some education and basically do what the people I was hiring to do what they were doing.
Right.
Exactly. So I got involved. I was timing was very fortuitous. I got involved in one of the very first voiceover workout groups in any city in the entire country. And I was in Los Angeles, which again, Hollywood and all the animated series, et cetera, et cetera. And so very, very quickly I started, I was working out every single week with this voice workout group that had about 10 veterans. And they welcomed me as a newbie, and I was just a sponge. And I worked out with this group every week, once a week, for 6 years.
Wow. Okay, now let me ask you this, and because what time or what years was
early
this
80s? We're talking about early 80s. Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
Now, was this also a lot of people that did a lot of radio work as well, or is it just basically the TV
radio and TV, absolutely both, but basically radio and TV, and of course, don't forget that this was way before the internet.
Right.
This was way before we could be emailing each other and talking to people around the world and all sorts of things. It was just basically, it was very localized and compartmentalized. Each city had its own little thing going on.
Oh yeah.
The most radical, coolest thing of all was toward the end of the decade when we had FedEx overnight. Remember did that, and I was oh boy, we can send off tapes and do this and do that and everything. Right then they get it the next day. It's fantastic. Of course, this was all before digital. There was no digital uploading. There was nothing. But getting back to your original question, 6 years of training is basically how I really cut my teeth in voice work. At the same time, continuing to write and produce and write and produce and write and produce, and then started voicing a number of things, and then branched out from there. And the amazing thing is that 43 years later, I am still writing and producing and voicing in addition to teaching.
Yes, and I just amazing, because I mean, I've gone through, and ever since I was introduced by Stephen Joyner, who will also be on the show here shortly, a good friend of yours. I've been geeking out because I'm huge into that. I'm the guy who goes into, even on record store back when we had record stores, but I'm the guy who looks at who produced the album, who did the sound for this, and
the credits,
so I'm that guy, especially on movies too. I'm like, who did this? Who did that? Who did the special effects? Mm-hmm. So I'm a nerd like that. And so just because I am a nerd like that, I kept all my old radio carts.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Air check cassettes.
You're an analog hoarder.
Oh my gosh. All the hours I spent editing these stupid tapes with a razor blade and wax pencil and what is it?
Wow. You know about that. I talk to people who say, "What's a razor blade?"
Oh, well, and if they know nowadays, you're like, I'm not sure if I want to be,
What is a
talking with you.
splicing a block?
Oh,
What a
the
splicing
splicing
tape?
block.
What Yes,
I
exactly. I have a great little story about that. One day, I'm working on a spot, and there was a breath, and I said to the engineer, I said, "I'm not crazy about that breath." He says, "Well, let me take it out." So he
uh-huh.
takes it out, and of course, the breath was approximately 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, which was on the tip of his finger, and he very gingerly says, "Hold on to this. We may need it." So I have a piece of a tape, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. I'm holding on to this, and we listen, and I said, "Put it back."
Put it back. And was he able to do it?
Yes, he was. Yes, he
Oh
was.
my
Again,
god.
engineers back then were amazing.
Oh,
They were just incredible. They're just like today. They're the conductors of a session. They're
oh
the
yeah.
conductor,
Yeah.
and it's just amazing. But now, of course, nowadays, what we can do is just absolutely beyond astonishing. Back then, we were using Galileo's telescope.
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, the hours you would spend editing something down was nobody understands it nowadays. Everything's just a click of a mouse, and
Yeah,
it's like, "Oh, yeah,
yeah,
it's so easy." You're like,
yeah.
"Shut up."
Right.
Oh
At the
my
same
gosh.
time, although there's an initial desire to say to somebody, 20, 30, 40 years younger, "Oh, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about," or "You can't appreciate what we went through." I feel like that old guy on the lawn say, "Get off my lawn!" We're in the 21st century, and the great thing is that you and I both have straddled. We're so lucky. We've straddled 2 millennia, not just
Oh,
2
yeah.
centuries, just 2 millennia, and the most important millennial change in the world, and that is the internet. So we've made the we have been able to take ourselves and educate ourselves from the analog world into the digital world, and look at us. Look at us. You're doing podcasting, and Andy's, sitting there with his underwear, and Steve is joining us, on a phone, on a
I know.
phone. Back then, we know that where was the phone when back then? The phone was in the wall. It was attached to the wall. Remember that? Oh, the
On a
wall.
cord
Okay,
like
exactly,
this.
with a cord. Exactly.
It
That's right.
looked like these things strapped to our heads.
And the mo
Um,
and the one most wonderful thing back then was the cord that was like, 10 feet long, that where we wouldn't have
oh,
to have a phone call in front of our parents.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
yeah.
little things like that we appreciate so much.
Oh my gosh. Yes, and, you started doing my favorite rant, which drives Matt, my director, nuts. "Back in my day, we didn't have phones, we didn't even have computers, all we
I know.
did was yell at each other,
Yeah.
flippity flab."
Shut up. Shut
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's just one of my favorite things to do to Matt
Oh,
because
yeah.
it annoys him so much.
Yes.
But yes, okay, so and, as these guys will attest, I am not so digitally technologically advanced, but I'm getting there. I'm
Chris,
still
you're here online, we're streaming, we're doing that stuff. Yes, we do need help. We do need help.
oh, yeah.
My classes, I have online classes. I've had online classes for years now, but I have not just one admin, I've got 2 admins and a backup.
Oh
I
my
have
gosh.
a
Yeah.
backup admin to my admin. So I've got, like, 3 layers of admins behind me,
Excellent.
all behind the curtain, just taking care of stuff while I'm doing what I'm doing and they're doing what they're doing. But no, we all need help. We
Yeah.
all and it's great to have help, which is great.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
not
my
just
gosh.
you're not all on your shoulders there.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so and, we kind of alluded to this in the beginning because I want people to know more about you and your history. You have how many awards do you think? And I'm not doing this because I am. I'm doing it to show off for you because the work you've done is amazing and what you've done and accomplished is amazing. Just rough idea.
Um I was just saying, we were talking about this before. My official bio says it's over 150, but I don't know exactly how many. It's ballpark. It's over 150. Just like the bio says, I've narrated over 200 audiobooks. I've done more than that, but I just don't know the exact figure. So it's like an over, a baseline number here. Right. The thing is, as I said, the numbers, statistics like that, facts like that aren't really that important, because I always say your last award, you're only as good as your last award, and again, awards are meaningless in the scheme of things if it's not helping you get work and extending your brand, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And it's always nice to be recognized by your peers. Yes, that's always wonderful. But still, the bottom line is, we just put one foot in front of the other every day, just trying to do the best work we possibly can, and that's it. Because at the end of the day, when we leave this earth, what do we have behind? What do we leave behind? We leave behind a legacy of work. But it's more than just a legacy of work. That's the smartest people in their careers take their careers and they make something more of their careers than just their careers. They extend it into other things. For instance, celebrities. A number of celebrities use their celebrity status to help projects that they believe in. Charities and things like that. And so that's basically my overall philosophy, along with a number of my other colleagues, is pay it forward. Always pay it forward. Whenever you have the opportunity, pay it forward.
And I preach that every week on this show. Take care of each other. We're all we've got, so let's help each other out and make the world a better place for each other. And just walk around, smile at somebody. They may take it however they want to take it, but at least you're putting it out there. And if we make somebody else's day better, that's all I wanted for this show. That's when I was in radio. That's all I wanted to do when I was doing comedy. I just wanted to make somebody's day a little bit better.
Yes, but we can take that one step further, and as I said, take your talent and donate your talent to worthy causes. For instance, I know a number. I've been helping for years. I've been helping this local foundation, Airs LA, which is an organization that provides readers for blind people and sight challenged people. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about taking your talent and donating it to a worthy cause. So you're not just saying to your fellow people, "Hey, hope you're having a good day out there." No, it's taking your actual talent and converting that into something concrete that will actually help somebody less fortunate. That's what I'm doing.
And that is awesome. I never even knew something like that existed. So,
absolutely. You just think about it. You could contact your any local public service organization that you have around you within a 20-mile radius of you, whether it's the ASPCA, whether it's a home for unwed mothers, whether it's any kind of a shelter for pregnant women, any organization that helps people less fortunate than you. You could create a commercial for them, a free public service spot, and put it on the air and help get either donations or volunteers or both, taking your talent, converting your talent, and helping less fortunate.
Oh, yeah. No, and actually I've, ironically, I'm trying to do a little work with the place that my church works with called Kristian's Place, which helps.
That's what I'm talking about.
Women of the evening come off the streets.
That's what I'm talking about.
Help them get a new start and get them going. And so I'm actually, I was going to try and do some commercial work, offer that to them. They're kind of still in a get going phase, but that's something my church is very heavily involved with.
Good. And that's what your listeners can be involved with as well. Anybody listening to this podcast right now, if you're thinking, if you want to do any kind of voice work, why don't you just volunteer your voice?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You know, I want to try and help them, you know,
Good.
do a little advertising. But anyway, I want to get more back in now. Okay, you've written a book, okay, which I know is out there, and which we talked about a little bit. It's called VO Tips, Tricks, and Techniques. There it is, right there.
Tips,
Tips, tricks, and
tricks, tools, and
techniques.
techniques to
Yes.
start and sustain your voiceover career.
Key word is sustain.
Sustain, yes,
Because,
absolutely.
yeah, lots of people get started in this, and, actually, I saw another video clip where you were talking with somebody, and, you were talking about how well, again, like I said, you know, everybody thinks it's so easy to come in and do this, and then they get started, and they're like, "Well, okay, didn't realize this was actually work."
Hmm.
You know? And how many people, because I know you do a lot of coaching,
Mhm.
and you actually teach classes, how many people, just stay with it that you have, had come in and, you
No
know,
idea.
think, "Oh, oh, no."
Absolutely no idea, unless I have a camera in everybody's house, and which is a little bit intrusive. I have absolutely no idea. If a number of my students, fortunately, still keep in touch and let me know how they're doing, which is great. I always wanna know, but I absolutely have no
You
idea how many stick with it, but I am just heartened, to see how many of my students do stick with it and are successful, are working voice actors now,
Yeah,
which is just, music to my ears.
yeah, which, you know, probably hundreds of thousands, I'm guessing.
Not hundreds of thousands, but and although I've worked with thousands of students, I could probably I'm just a ballpark guess here. Oh, yeah, I would say at least 100 students over the course of the 20 years that I've been teaching, at least 100 students have gone on to work and
To
do well in this
y
business.
Right, and, yeah, I mean, you know, especially nowadays with, a lot of the, you know, the platforms like Fiverr and Upwork and, what is it, voices.com, things
Yeah,
like that. There it's kinda become cutthroat in a way because, there are a lot of people out there, like I say, you know, they think, "Oh, I can just read a script," and a
yeah.
lot of people buy it for literally 5 or 10 bucks,
Yes, and
you know?
that's a very, disheartening and,
Yeah,
discouraging, part of the business, where people are so desperate, to do this that they'll devalue themselves and basically therefore undercut everybody else,
right.
but if they're on any of the voice pages, the VO pages on, let's say, Facebook or LinkedIn or, they many times get discouraged from doing that
Mhm.
and
Right,
just enabling, these companies to, in
Yeah.
essence, take advantage of their talent,
right.
by, you know, paying them virtually nothing.
Yeah. And, yeah, because I mean, I'm on Fiverr, but I also demand my price,
Mhm,
which is very discouraging for a lot of these people out there.
mhm.
So my work has been limited, but the thing is when I get, you know, I say, "I'll give you a little sample," you know, and I give them maybe
Of
10,
course.
15 seconds of something. And because if I go any much longer, I'm afraid they're gonna just take that and run with it.
Mhm.
So and then once they get it, they're like, "Oh, wow, that's really good." I'm like, "Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, so I kind of have an idea, you know, but this is why I'm asking for that price."
Mhm.
And then they usually go, "Okay, well, you know, I'll do," you know, then we kinda do a bargaining thing. I'll say, "Listen, I'll do it for this price for right now, as long as there's a promise of more work." And it usually works out that way, you know?
That's fantastic.
I did a YouTube narration for, uh, uh, what's the Bitcoin thing,
Mhm.
and, they were talking about the valuations and stuff. So I did 15, I think, YouTube videos, 10 minutes long, 10, 11 minutes long, and, because that fits the algorithm, and, you know, they were just blown away, and I got a little more each time, and then they threw me some tips, you
That's
know, on
great.
top of it, you know,
That's
especially
great.
if that YouTube did well. So and it was great, you know? No, "Oh, hey, Mike Martin, how you doing?" If you're just tuning in and, checking us out, Marc Cashman, voiceover extraordinaire, voiceover coach. The voice you've heard, just didn't realize it, is here with us talking about the voiceover industry and coaching and his book VO Tips, Tricks, and Techniques. Now, what inspired you to write the book? What
It
got
was
you to that point?
basically just people were saying, "You've been doing this for all these years. Why don't you have a book? Some of your other colleagues have books. Why don't you have a book?"
Right.
And I couldn't argue with that. And so I just took my 20 years of experience and just just put it all down. Put it, just try to. Actually, it was also a compilation of all the articles I had written, dozens and dozens and dozens of articles for Backstage and a number of other places here. So it was a compilation of all the articles that I'd written over the years, plus some more information after I looked at what I had, my body of work, and said, okay, well, I haven't talked about this, and this. So then I just wrote some stuff about that, put it all together in the book, and got it out there. How it happened, I still, it's a feverish dream. I can't even remember how it happened. But I'm working on a sequel. Right now.
Oh,
And the original title, of course, as you could see, is VOV hyphen OH.
right.
And the working title for my next one is V hyphen OMG. And that's how that goes.
And now, is that an exclusive? Are we the first ones to break this
You are
out
one
here?
of the first people in the world to know the working title of my new book that is still in the works. So it's not going to be finished by the end of the year, but I'm really, really shooting for next year. So I'll keep you posted. And Kristian,
Yes,
guess what, my friend?
Yes, sir.
You get a copy. I'm going to send you a copy of this book, as well as a copy of, and you get, not only do you get the book, but you also get a bookmark. And it literally is
a bookmark because
Nice.
you're Mark.
That's great.
There it is, bookmark.
Oh, you so get me.
So
You so get me. Oh my
that's
God,
what you're
beautiful.
getting right there. And by the way, talking about rates, you know the old story about rates? You know the old story about rates? A guy has got a dent in his car and he goes to his auto body shop. He says, how much it will cost to knock that dent out? The guy looks at it. He says, $500. Guy says, okay, thanks. He goes down the road, about a mile down the road, to another auto body shop. He says, how much would it cost to knock this dent out? Guy looks at it. He says, $250. Guy says, okay, thank you very much. He drives down a further mile down the road to a third auto body shop and asks the guy, how much to knock this dent out? Guy looks at it. He says, $100. Guy says, you're on, do it. Guy looks at the dent, takes out a hammer, pop. There, that'll be $100. Guy says, that took you 10 seconds. Guy says, yeah, it took me 30 years to learn how to do it.
Do that right. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes, that is. And it's so true because, I mean, we're not going to elaborate on it anymore because it says it for itself right there. Yeah. Experience speaks volumes.
There you go.
You get what you pay for.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now, and going back to kind of your history, let's just say, how many, I know you've done a lot of animation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just name off some, just for the people listening.
I actually I have not done as much animation and video game stuff as I would have liked to have done, mainly because I just my voiceover career is a part of basically four. It's one corner of four. So my voiceover career, my production career, my teaching career, and my writing career. So those are the four things that I've been doing consistently every single year since I started working. Writing, performing, teaching, and an actual book writing or article writing or information writing. So I am not a famous animated a character for animated characters. I don't go to the conventions and sign stuff like some of my other colleagues do. Some of my other colleagues, again, they're absolutely amazing. So yes, I've dabbled. I've had parts in different animated series and video games. My most famous video game role was on camera. I was the plastic surgeon in Twisted Metal.
That's right. Okay, that's right. I played that game.
and I was the plastic surgeon. So when Dollface went through the windshield, I was the one who fixed her face. And she looked in, and I did a great job. But there was one tiny little part of her face that I was not able to get. I just wasn't able to fix it. Well, she looked at it, and that's all she saw. When she looked in the mirror, I gave her the mirror, and that's all she saw was that tiny, tiny little flaw. And she was so upset. She lunged at me and strangled me to death.
Ah.
And the great story about that is, so I'm in the studios down in San Diego. We're doing this because this is an on-camera thing. We're in the studios. This is this gorgeous, beautiful model I'm doing the scene with.
Right.
Well, the scene called for her to lunge and jump on top of me repeatedly. They would do the scene and of course, cut, let's do it again. Cut, let's do it again. Cut, let's do it again. So I had this gorgeous woman jumping on top of me repeatedly. And I get home and my wife says, "So how'd work go?" I go, "Oh, it's okay."
That's terrible. I hated it.
People were jumping all over me. It was horrible.
Yeah, it's just an absolutely horrible thing. So what's funny was that so she strangles me to death, and a year later they call me back and said, "Listen, that scene that you did." I said, "Yeah." They said it wasn't violent enough, so we want you to come back in, and we want to redo the scene, and this time she's going to cut your head off. So when you go online and you see Twisted Metal, Surgeon, whatever the case may be, and you see this wide shot, first you see a shot of my face like this, but then the camera pulls back to reveal that my face is basically a disembodied head being held by my hair. She's just holding my disembodied head as it's dripping. So my daughter gets she gets the she says, she tells everybody, she says the world, "Okay, my dad's was the surgeon.
He's in the Twisted Metal." Oh wow.
So
now
fun.
was that through your company Cashman Commercials, or
Cashman Commercials is my production company, and that's basically where I do all my writing and producing. But I, as an actor, I'm represented by different agencies and stuff like that. I have different agents. So one of them called me up and said, "Hey, somebody wants you to come down here." And so that's why I've got 4 different irons in the fire. And the great thing is that every day I use one of them or 2 of them or all 4.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, and speaking of agencies and publicists and all that, we happen to have one of them here with us, a good friend of yours, Mr. Stephen Joyner. Stephen, hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Steve, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Good.
Stephen and Mark have known each other for several years, very good friends, and
he still owes me $50 too. That's a whole other story.
I didn't tell you, Kristian, I didn't tell you how me and Mark met, did I?
No, you have not, sir.
I was in high school, and I moved to Santa Clarita, and it's up by Magic Mountain.
Yes.
And I was an awkward, skinny kid at the time, and I was just trying to fit in. And there was this group that used to beat me up on a daily basis. The group of older kids, they'd hassle me and they'd beat me up, all that. And one night they all tried to jump me, and Mark broke it up the fight. So little did I know that Mark knew martial arts. So he'd have me come over to his house and paint his fence. I'd wax his cars on occasion. And I thought to myself, okay, this old man's just wanting cheap labor, right? Little did I know he was teaching me martial arts from what he learned in Okinawa. See, he looks Jewish and all that, but he's actually Okinawan.
Cashman Kai Karate? Is that what this is?
Cashman Kai, yes, you've heard of it. So anyway, well, it's a story I'm sure you've heard before.
It's very familiar. I'm not sure.
Not sure if you believe it or not, but it's a great story. He says with a straight face.
I was sitting there. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, God,
no.
Here we go.
Yeah, no.
No. Honestly, what happened was when I first started booking these things, and I'm not usually used to being interviewed, so this is awkward for me. It really
Which
is.
I did force Steven into doing this, by the
He
way.
did. He did. He says, do I get my dog back tonight, by the way?
Well, we'll see.
Exactly. No, what
and
happened
hello,
was
Dee Dee Joyner.
Mark and I became friends, actually Facebook, really what it was, and we had a lot of mutual friends. And there was a voice actor I was quasi managing at the time, who was an on-screen personality. I won't say his name. Mark knows who he is. He's had some troubles, and I wish him well. But
and he owes me $50 too.
Probably owes you more than that, Mark. Anyway, but me too. Anyway, but anyway, and I talked to Mark, and that's and we kibitzed, and there was a show in Long Island at the time that I was sending people to, not making a dime off of, and I was just feeding guests these people, and I asked Mark, and Mark's like, sure, and he did the interview for these two guys. Went off great, and that was back. They used a thing. I don't know if you remember, Mark. Back then, they used it. Back then, 5 years ago, they used a thing called Meerkat, and Mark nailed it. And then Mark, being Mark, I was listening to in the green room. I was listening to you guys talk about the giving, paying it forward. Mark, this guy makes quality commercials. I mean, he's made a career out of it.
Yeah.
And I remember asking Mark, I was so green at the time, like, oh, I want to help these guys out. Mark sent me a wonderful MP3 file of bumpers. Remember that, Mark? You did the intro out. Well, yeah, it was a long time ago. These idiots never used them.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh!
like, what was the matter with you guys? And then I had booked
handed a gift like that.
Yeah, they were great too. Hey, don't touch that dial. We'll be, it was really cool stuff. And then, can you guys see me okay? Because I feel like I'm like a floating head.
No, you're fine.
Good.
Yeah,
okay. So,
right
Mark,
Go Lakers.
I was, thank you. Yes. Me and Mark are Angelinos. So we got a
well.
So
lawyers are better, so it's fine.
I don't know who they are.
Oh.
Let's not talk sports. Anyway, so
okay.
No, so I remember honestly, I had worked with these knuckleheads for about a month and a half, and we had pumped out 109 shows. And on the last show, you were talking, Kristian, about looking at records and people who produced them and all that. The last guest I sent them was a friend of mine named Ron Dante. Mark, I don't know if did you ever meet Ron?
No.
From the Archies, he did the Sugar song.
Oh, yeah, Ron.
Yeah, Ron.
That's right.
You met Ron Dante before.
Yes, that's right. And he owes me $50.
You got a lot of uncollected out here, Mark.
Everybody.
Mark was remembering your birthday before Facebook was invented, So anyway, but I'd booked Ron. Ron was the last person I booked. And they're like, oh, we'll get sponsors and we'll monetize. Nothing ever happened. I remember I was upset and I was bothered and I was down for a couple of weeks. I left the show and the show crashed really quick. And I remember, Mark, you don't remember this probably, but I remember talking to you on the phone and I had to go down to LA. I was up in Fresno, California. I had to go down to LA and you drive right through Mark's neighborhood. If you know Los Angeles, Kristian, you know Mark, you know LA,
yes.
you know, going over the Grapevine and everything. There's Magic Mountain. He's right over by Magic Mountain.
Yeah.
And I remember he and we went to dinner, and I was like, Mark, you may not remember this, but I was like, oh man, I put all this work into it, hours, promo, and I burned myself out. And Mark's like, yeah, but you built a good resume, is what you did.
Yeah.
And that's what he said. That's worth more than anything, right there.
Absolutely.
And now here I am today. But it was stressful days back then.
And I love your logo, by the way, Steve.
Thank you. I didn't design that.
No, I didn't think so, but I still love it.
No, I'm not that artistic. I have the art skills of a preschooler, actually.
Get in line.
Yeah,
you've seen my logo, so way more refined and detailed than mine.
We're not self-defecating on this show at all. But I remember that, and then Mark showed me before we went out to eat. I remember seeing his studio, and it was bitching. It was this really, really cool studio, and he's like, "Yeah, this is what I do." And what Mark taught me, on all honesty, is my dad died young, my mom died young. I don't have any biological living relatives left.
Right.
I'm married, but I don't have any blood relatives left. And Mark has been like an uncle to me in a way. He's given me nothing but good advice. And he basically said, find what you want to do, kid, and do it, you know. And that's what Mark taught me.
Yeah.
And it's great. If I had to be on a show, it's with him, because he didn't blow smoke, and he said, look, you're gonna have a lot of failures, you know. This is just life, you know, and but there are going to be some successes. And
Yep.
the problem is with everybody in life, and not to sound like we're a bunch of curmudgeon old men, is that they want that fast track success.
Oh yeah.
You know, nowadays with voiceover actors, the ones I met, they can go online and they can submit themselves. And, you know, you guys mentioned I'm doing this on a phone. Mark was back in the tape days where, you know, I mean, that sounds like 100 years ago, but he would, Mark, I knew actors back in the day, they would read the trades,
Yeah.
you know, and they'd be like, oh, there's a cattle call over in Burbank. I got to go there. And there's like three
Oh
other guys
yeah,
that look
yeah,
like
yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how it was back then.
Yeah.
You know? And when I did extra work in TV and films as a little boy, I remember meet a little blonde kid between 5 and 7 years old. And I'd go in there and they're, yeah, you know, and I had really blonde hair back then. So when I'd go to a casting call, it looked like the Village of the Dam, if you will.
Oh God, yeah.
So it really did. Now I think about it, you know.
The Hitler Youth showed up.
Hitler Youth, yeah. And I'm Jewish too, which is really
I know.
cool. You know?
Irony.
Yeah, the irony, but I did not see that coming, you know.
Oh,
Yeah.
but I'm pumped.
Yeah.
We're here all week. Try the veal.
We're all
Thank you.
no,
There it is.
I remember, yeah, just I didn't stick with it that long, and then I've had this. I always say it is a Forrest Gump type life where I've met a lot of great people like Mark here,
Right.
and I get emails, and every time I run across anybody, I'm currently in Kansas City, Missouri, as we speak. But every time I come across anybody who says they want to get into voiceover acting, I'm like, well, there's this guy named Marc Cashman I know,
Yeah.
and I don't nerd out, but there's a nerd part of me that always goes into hyperdrive whenever I speak to Mark, and that is the Orson Wells story.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please, Mark.
Yeah, because we're running out of time with you, Mark. I know you've got to get rolling here real quick.
And you know, truthfully, the Orson Wells stories is only a story only because it's Orson Wells, not because it's me. I just got lucky
Dude, it's
enough.
Orson Wells.
I just got lucky
true.
enough to have the opportunity to work with somebody who I'm not going to say idolized, but somebody who I respected more than anybody else in the world, Orson Wells.
Mhm.
And this was back in the, I want to say it's either late 80s or early 90s. I can't remember exactly. It was right around that cusp of the end of the 80s or early 90s.
Wasn't
And
it 80? Mark, wasn't it 88 roughly?
it
Something
again,
like
I can't remember the exact year, but I think it may have been around 88.
Yeah.
And I was in Los Angeles, writing, producing commercials, and we get a call one day from an agency that's representing a client called Ken Copeland Ministries. So I think they were out in either Arizona or Southwest, somewhere in the Southwest, and they wanted a production company to direct and produce a series of commercials for Ken Copeland Ministries. And so we asked them, said, okay, do you need us to cast? And they said, oh, no, we already have our announcer. And I said, oh, who is it? And they said, Orson Wells. And I said, what? Are you kidding? No, Orson Wells got signed. And so they asked us to bring him into a studio in Hollywood and direct him a series of spots, and which is what we did. So it was maybe about a 3-hour session that we had. And so as I was directing him, after about 10 minutes, because I kept saying, okay, Mr. Wells, we're going to do this, Mr. Wells, we're going to do that, et cetera, he interrupted me at one point and said, Mark, you don't have to call me Mr. Wells. You can call me Orson. And I said, thank you, Mr. Wells. I will take that under advisement.
Exactly.
And so maybe about 15 minutes goes on, and he said, Mark, you keep calling me Mr. Wells. I told you, if you want, you can call me Orson.
Yeah.
I said, thank you, Mr. Wells. I very much appreciate that offer. and I'll take it under advisement.
Yeah.
So we continue on, and a half hour later, he says, "This is getting to be a little ridiculous. You can call me Orson if you want to."
Oh my God.
I said, "Thank you, sir. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that opportunity, but it's right now, I'm just not particularly comfortable with that." And I said, so if it's okay, let's just continue on here. You're doing a great job. Thank you so much. We're getting a lot done. We're halfway done here. We still have the X amount to do here. Let's take a look at this. And I just distracted him from this. Well, at the end of the session, he was and at that time he was not doing well physically. He was in a wheelchair. He was and this was maybe about literally 6 months before he passed. And but at the end of the session, he looked at me and said, "Marc, you never called me Orson." And I said, "No, sir."
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "I just respect you way too much. Way too much." I said, "Maybe if we were drinking Mai Tais on a yacht, you know, and we'd be clinking glasses, maybe if I got a little bit drunk, I would call you that." I said, "But Mr. Wells, I can't tell you what an honor it is to work with you." Actually, I just did, but I've got to tell you, it's just the honor of my life. It's the honor of my career, working for you, working with you, and I said, I don't know if I'm going to. I don't know how I'm going to beat this. I don't think there's any. I cannot imagine any situation that's going to top what I just did there. So, to the fact that I was able to shake his hand and look him in the eye, look Orson Wells in the eye, and thank him for his work. I was, and when he left, I didn't walk back to my car. I floated back to my car because my feet were off the ground. I was just off the ground. I was just, it was just the most amazing thing ever to work with him. People say, well, if you had a choice of working with anybody else in Hollywood, who would it be? Yeah. I said, oh my God. I said, basically all actors who I respect, or narrators who I respect. Obviously Tom Hanks and stuff like that would be fantastic. But there's one person in Hollywood who is I would love to work with. I'd give my left testicle to work with. Bill Shatner, William Shatner.
Oh,
yeah. I would love to work with him. Now, you go online and William Shatner is known for basically biting people's heads off, in sessions. But that's only because, and if you listen to Orson Wells, same thing. And the only reason that he ever does that is when people disrespect him.
Right. Yeah.
When they're disrespected. And that's what made Orson Wells bite people's head off in the session. That's what Shatner has done when people just disrespect him. They don't respect his abilities, his narration, his acting and narration abilities.
Right.
But he is a fabulous narrator. He is an amazing narrator. He does what he does with the English language, what he does with some simple sentences, the most boring things in the world. He does just an astounding job. And I know he's getting on in age, and that's why I would give my eye teeth to be in any situation to work with him as an artist, as an actor. And truthfully, I wouldn't even be directing him. I would just be basking in the glow of the fact, okay, I'm working with Bill Shatner, and now I can die.
Yeah, and you just kind of sit back and go, do what you need to do.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what you're supposed to do with celebrities, because that's why they became celebrities in the first place, because their talent was so unique, amazing, blew everybody else away.
Oh yeah. And like you said, the way he speaks, he's got it's like I was talking about Bob Newhart with Sam Quasman last week. His pauses and the way he times himself. There's nobody else that can do it. I don't care. Anybody can impersonate it, but you can't.
That's right. No,
and
that's what made him unique.
It's commanding and it's amazing and it controls everything about what's going on.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you cannot help but fall in love with it.
Absolutely.
And I mean, ever since I was a kid, I fell in love with William Shatner because he'll always be Captain Kirk. And I mean, and just the other roles he's played. But I mean, the guy is just great. I just love him. I know everybody's got their quirks and everything, but yeah, he's amazing. And Mark, I know you've got to go, and I'm so
Thank you.
sorry. We
No. Hey, look, Kristian, let's do this again. Let's do part 2.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, please. Yes. I would absolutely love it.
Definitely.
Yes.
We'll pick up where we left off. All right.
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you
Perfect.
so much, Mark. I truly
Absolutely.
appreciate it, Mr. Cashman.
Absolutely. And
seriously.
Kristian, don't forget, I'm sending you a copy of the book.
The VO tips, tricks, and techniques. And
if anybody wants to get a hold of me, if anybody wants to contact me, it's very, very easy. CashmanCommercials.com, CASHMAN commercials.com. That's my website. Marc, MARC, at CashmanCommercials.com. Definitely can get a hold of me there. Contact me with any questions anytime. And those people out there, if you know any buddy, well, again, one of the main reasons I'm here with you, Chris, is because of Mr. Steve Joyner. And Steve is Steve. Remember back in the analog days, they would have something called a Rolodex. Remember that? A Rolodex, which is just basically a mailing list, a list of all the Steve's Rolodex is like, is 10 feet long. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So people who are interested in furthering their podcasts and think Steve is the man to get a hold of.
Thanks,
and Steve, what's your email address where people can get a hold of you?
Thank you, Mark. It's stevesjnetwork@gmail.com.
Okay, good.
stevesjnetwork@gmail.com.
Excellent. Again, I would not be here if it weren't for Steve.
No, yes, absolutely. And but
and
Mr.
I would
Cashman,
not have been able to beat up those bullies had it not been. and you guys think you guys think I'm lying, right? After I won the tournament under Sensei Cashman's tutelage, I was given this award. Yeah, so I'm the best around. No one's ever going to keep me down.
Use the crane. Use the crane, Stephen. Mark, we're going to put links. Yeah, we're going to put links to everything on my webpage, which is therandomchristianshow.com. For this show, we're going to have links for your coach, your commercial, everything. We're going to have it all on there, and I can't wait to have you back on. Thank you so much for coming on this show. I
absolutely, my pleasure. Andy, you have to stop talking so much. Next time,
I tell you, I know I just completely overloaded the whole interview. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. Next time, all right.
And trust me, Andy gets his pieces in. Trust me, Mark. Thank you so much. Have a great day, sir. Thank you,
gentlemen. And I do use that term loosely. Hope your Thanksgiving is happy, healthy, safe. Stay in touch.
Yes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Marc Cashman.
Talk to you soon, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Cool,
oh my God. He's so amazing. I could be here for hours. All right.
He's a great guy. So this is the piss break part of the show, folks.
You've been holding it. Go now.
Go ahead. No. This is where we're really going to get good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again,
I can't
Stephen
top
Joyner.
I'm nobody. That's something bigger. I'm not that important. That's a star. Dude, guys,
shut up. Now, let's cue all. Let's go to the lobby. my director Matt here is getting his digs in. Now, Stephen Joyner, again, publicist extraordinaire, a man with more connections, more people than anybody knows. I mean, dude, you are absolutely amazing. Yeah, you know a few people here and there.
Well, it wasn't like what I wanted to do. It just fell into my lap one year.
But you know what, dude? That's how it all happens sometimes. I dreamed of being in radio, never really thought about it. And somebody happened to be in radio at San Jose State and said, dude, you make an excellent DJ. I said, I've always wanted to be one. Well, come on. And so I snuck into their classes at San Jose State, and then they put me on the air. I did it all for free, and then it blew up from there. So, I mean,
Do I
that's
need
how
my
these things
earbuds for this? Can you hear me if these aren't in? Can you hear me?
I
Can you hear me?
do. Yeah, keep your microphone up near you.
No, do I need them in or no?
Probably.
Okay, shoot. Alrighty.
Yeah, so you can hear us.
Alrighty, go ahead.
All right.
I don't know how long my thing is. Go ahead.
Okay. So again, Stephen, you started out as a child actor, doing bits parts here and there, and then you just kind of naturally progressed into the PR side of it, or how did this all come about?
Blame the movie Jaws for my career. That's what you have to do. Everything goes to that damn shark. No, it does, really. Who's doing? Yes, that's the John Williams thing that will never leave me. No, I as a child I did a lot of extra work in films and TV, and nothing spectacular. One lines here or there. Like I said, they would do cattle calls, and I had an acting coach named Drew Scott, and one of my teachers at the time was Gordon Jump, if you remember WKRP.
Yes.
And he became a Maytag repairman.
Yeah, WKRP.
Yeah, and I remember Drew had produced Mario Lopez. The girl, not the girl from the Wonder Years, the girl, oh Jesus, one of those kids, one of the girls, and then Heather O'Rourke from the Poltergeist films.
Oh yeah,
years later, I met Oliver Robbins, who played Robbie in that movie, and I was like, oh dude, I actually had met your on-screen sister, because her and I would be the same age now, as weird as that sounds. And then I remember being I forgot what I was doing at the time, but I remember where I was because they were filming The Greatest American Hero. And
great show.
Yeah, a fantastic show. William Catt, I met
William
him.
Catt's awesome.
I wasn't on the episode. I was on the episode. I remember being around it when it was being filmed. I was doing something else.
Right.
And Robert Culp, late Bob Culp, who played the other guy.
Yes.
He yelled at me. And it turns out that another actor I know had a bad Robert Culp story. So, but I remember when I was doing, I'm not going to speak ill of the dead, but it wasn't good. But he had no use for kids at all. Man, grumpy little nasty man at the time. God rest his soul. Anyway, and I had met Greg Mulvaney, and Greg worked with Culp and Bob Carroll Dead Nows. I still talk to Greg every now and then. It's been a while since I talked to Greg, and he was on Mary Hartman.
Yes.
And Greg's a cool dude, but acting coach, in New York. But I gave it up, and I did a lot of theater. And then I don't know, I just kind of existed for a long time there. And then about 5 years ago, I had booked my friend Carl Gottlieb, who wrote the movie Jaws, on a autograph show, and a couple other folks involved with the movie. And a podcaster in Boston reached out to me and said, I'd love to borrow them for my podcast. And I'm like, well, what's a podcast? What the hell is that? He said, well, it's like a radio show. I didn't know what it was. It's like, it's a radio show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I set it up. They did great. And then the guy had proceeded to stalk my Facebook page and see me with a few recognizable people throughout the years. And he said, yeah, I'd love to interview X, Y, and Z. I said, well, I need a job. And sorry. So see, that's my day all there, right there. Anyway, I said, well, he said, well, I don't have a budget, typical whatever. And I said, okay. And then I realized there's probably more than one podcast in this guy's show.
Yeah.
So I went to work with these two morons. I'm sorry, but they had nothing redeeming to say about them in Long Island, New York. And I had booked a lot of shows for these gentlemen, and I use that term very lightly. And anyway, I went through a lot of trial and error.
Right.
A lot of shows.
Yeah.
And now me and my partner, Aaron Bosing, Aaron and I book various artists, new and old, on random shows like the Random Christian Show. And then I even do PR for people like Kristian, and I like putting things together. I only know how to do. That's all I know how to do in life is put things together.
Yeah.
But
See the outcome.
you do a spectacular job at it, and I'm telling you that much. I mean,
I try. I try. It's not all me. I mean, I honestly, I'll be dead honest with you. I couldn't even draw up a contract, and my wife was the one that used to send all my contracts out. I didn't know what verbiage to use.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I didn't know what verbiage to use. My wife
Yeah.
would literally do my contracts because if I did it, it'd be like,
hey, dude, you want to do this? Okay, cool. Peace.
Yeah. It would be really. She's very articulate. She's very in tune with the English language.
Yes.
Where I can speak Yiddish, but I can't speak proper English for some reason. So,
but let me tell you.
Yeah. So now, I mean, I still do it, and hell, today I think I set up honestly at least 5 interviews that I can think of offhand. And Kristian, actually, you and I got on the phone with those guys in Baltimore, and we're putting
which that's going to be
together.
a blast.
Yeah, we're putting out content because this is a wonderful time to be a podcaster, or radio show host, because people are relying on, the idiot box behind me. It's for all their information.
Yeah.
And the media is full of lies. And during the pandemic, a lot of us were sequestered in our house, and there's only so much Tiger King nonsense you could watch until you decide I need an escapism.
Right.
Yeah.
So I look at podcasts and especially video ones as a very interesting form of entertainment and also education too, because they're fun interviews like the one we're having. We're joking around, having fun,
right,
and talking to a veteran guy like Mark. And there's some that are very serious, where you leave there learning something that you never knew before that could help. It's very important.
Yeah.
So I think it's a wonderful medium. Do I think everybody should be doing a podcast? No. I think there should be a psychological test before people do podcasts.
Sure.
But I've seen, I just say it. I've been approached with the weirdest of the weird. I'm telling you, I had the weirdest show that ever reached out to me about 2 years ago was a woman in New York who did a show about talking about sex. I'm like, oh, you got me already. She's like, no.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the show about? She's all, well, I take the recording of people having sex. I don't show it. I take the recording. And then I play it, and I do like a commentary. I'm like, okay, so what do you mean? She said, well, you hear the moaning and the groaning and all that stuff, right? And then she talks over it. That's the weirdest show ever. Yeah, that was the weirdest.
So
this happened. Did you lost your? You okay? That I'm not making up. That happened. Kristian, we talked.
Oh God.
Huh? Yeah, that was a real show.
That's incredible. Number 2 on Good Pods this month, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So she was like, okay, now Bob's gonna go and insert his penis into her ear, and
Yeah, exactly.
That's what she was doing.
Yeah, she was talking about, like, you hear a couple really going at it, and, we'll keep it PG, but she's like, okay, now, he's caressing the blah blah, and I'm like, you're a pervert, you know that? And I'm like, hey, can I get on?
Like, listen, I can't do this right now, but maybe in about a half hour.
But I couldn't do business with that person, because imagine me like, hey, Cashman, I got a show, right? You're gonna be interviewed.
Do a voiceover for it.
You're gonna be interviewed, but you got to talk over people screwing, all right? It's a really classy show, though. And she talked about it like in such an art form too. Oh, it's beautiful. And I'm like, yeah, hey.
Okay.
You're choked. You're all right?
Yeah. No, I'm good. Well, a while back, you kind of caught me off guard.
The reason why I asked if I need these is I need to plug my phone in. So can I go on speaker or something?
You can.
Hold on. See,
let's
kids,
try it. Why not?
Okay,
yeah, try it.
Let's do it.
Let's see
what the hell?
As he slips his cord into the hole.
Oh God, here we go. Oh God. No.
So it is the After Dark show. All right.
I can hear you. I didn't need to have these in the whole time. I didn't need them in. Damn it. Hold on.
Okay.
Intermission.
Yeah.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Plug it in slowly.
Yeah.
And so every inch of the every step of the process. There you go.
There we go.
Nice and slow. All right.
Easy.
Wait,
there we go.
Now.
I need to sit
Ram it in.
Now, what the hell? Now, sometimes a cord slips out.
No.
Well, that's only natural. That's only natural for everything. So
it's never happened to me before, damn it.
It happens. It does happen to a lot of guys. Don't worry.
Oh, come on.
It's only natural.
Hold on.
Yeah. Just hop up. Get back on that horse. Don't worry. Try again.
Hey, everybody, you got it. Yeah. Everybody has their moment. So we're having that one here. Welcome to the Random Christian Show.
All right, we're good. Okay, sorry. The cord was slipping out of the hole, and I'm talking like a girl now. So let's go somewhere else. Wait, now it's training, but it's at 6%.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, go ahead.
You sure you're plugged in on the other end?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be a good point. IT. Andy's part of IT.
I tell you.
So while Steven's double checking his power sources here, let's just replug everything again here real quick. We had Marc Cashman on, and now we've got Steven Joyner, publicist, owner of the SJ Network, which is our publicist and proudly sponsors our show as well. Steven has, as Mr. Cashman put it, he's the Rolodex that's about 10 feet deep. The man has got so much information and so many people probably just tied up in this phone that he's trying to get charged.
I'm acting like your grandfather trying to call you, Mark, you there?
Well, remember the movie Mother with Albert Brooks? And
I only saw that
Debbie
once,
Reynolds.
but I like him too. I'm a big fan of his work, but I only saw that once.
Oh my God, I still love that movie. There's a part in there where she's using a video phone back when they first came out, and she's sitting there, and she's like, "Can you see me? I don't understand how this works," you know. And the scene is just hilarious because it's basically me with technology. Which Andy,
I miss those days. We all remember that. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
He's messing with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're totally screwing with me now.
But that came back a little bit during the pandemic with Zoom and everything, because that happened to a lot of people figuring out their microphones and their home setup and everything.
Yeah, and look, Matt's on the phone. Matt.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to buy M80 fireworks in Tijuana.
Oh yeah.
And I would go to TJ, and I'd come back with M80s and basically illegal fireworks. I guess at the time I was smuggling explosives across the border. Oops. And they had M1000s, and I was such a little bastard back then that I used to go through drive-thrus, and the order window. They'd be like, "Hello, can I take your order?" "Yeah, 1 second, please." And I'd light it and I'd blow it up in the drive-in.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got a pitchfork job in hell waiting for
me. Oh no, that's. Fantastic.
I was a rambunctious kid. I think I didn't have enough attention. My parents were divorced. My mom was an actress. Oh, and she had nothing you remember. It was way back before our time. And when her career ended, she kind of lost her mind a little bit. So I remember, the way she would treat me. I remember her waking me up in the middle of the night and beating me with wire hangers. That was fun.
Oh,
so got you again, didn't I?
I was gonna say that's another movie.
Yeah. I do that. Yes. It's funny. Kristian, you know Pleasant Valley where I'm at now, right?
Roughly, yes.
Yeah. It's like Footloose small, and I'll actually use that reference because there's nothing here at all.
No,
that movie was lame even for the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh God, that was
But we'll all watch it to be, huh?
Yeah, and the chicks really dug it. So you had to go with the get your date and go. Okay, I'm gonna go see Footloose. And everybody's like, "Yeah, he's on a date."
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of mandatory. You know, you had to take your girlfriend or wife or whatever to see it. You know, it's like I feel bad for those poor bastards that had to take their wives to go see that movie Somewhere in Time, or what was the Christopher Reeve one? You know, with Jane.
Andy, you're good at movies. What is it?
That's a good one. Let me.
Somewhere in Time.
He's going to the good.
Right? Was that it?
I think it is. Yeah.
Somewhere in Time, Superman and Jane Seymour. He goes back in time and Victorian and
yes,
yeah,
Somewhere in Time.
Yeah, you owed your wife that to go see that. If you didn't, you weren't getting anything for a long time. So
yeah. Well, it's oh god, what's the one with Julia Roberts and
Pretty Woman?
No. The it's like she dies at the end.
Steel Magnolias.
Steel Magnolias. Oh my!
I hate that movie. I hate that movie for one line.
Why?
There's a line in that movie, and I hate the movie. I hate everybody involved in the movie. I hate people who rent the movie.
You paid how much to rent that? You're an idiot.
Yeah.
What's the line?
There's a line. Okay, my name is said in that movie, not my full name, but my name, Steven, is said in that movie.
Right.
And when you read the contents of the way it's said, Mark, Rick, and Steve, just watch the movie and you'll understand why I don't like that movie.
Now I gotta watch the movie.
Olympia Dukakis said, "Well, there's a scene."
That's what I was trying to remember.
Okay, all right. It's I don't hate it. It's funny, but it's kind of like fuck, you know. Excuse me. There's a scene I saw in junior high, right?
Right.
And they're all sitting there. Still Magnolias is a play, and then it become a movie. And in the movie, it's much like a play where they're sitting there and they're gossiping and they're all old Southern women and shit, and they're talking about track lighting and gay people. And they asked Olivia Dukakis, so like, your nephew's gay, isn't it? She's like, yeah. She's all gay men are named Mark, Rick, or Steve. I'm like, bitch. I don't know. At the time, it bothered me. It's like, oh, yeah, let's generalize it, shall we?
Yeah.
And then Shelley, oh God, what's her name? Warren Beatty's sister, Shelley. Jesus Christ.
Now all you can think of is Shelley Duvall.
No, not her. I actually had the same birthday as her, July 7th.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, her and Ringo Starr.
Oh my gosh.
Shirley MacLaine.
Right.
She walks in, they're like, hey, how's your nephew? She's all, Steve's fine. I'm like, damn it. So I thought that was kind of, anyway. How did we get, we're talking about chick flicks that we got drugged to, right?
Yeah, well.
Titanic.
Hello, Patsy.
Titanic. Huh?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Patsy Ann just joined in. She's one of our regulars. Hello, Miss Patsy. In fact, you need to meet Miss Patsy also. I'll deal with that later. But Stephen Joyner, Stephen Joyner, publicist extraordinaire, regaling us with. Okay, what would we do? Where are you going with this?
We were just talking about chick flicks and dogging on them. And it's funny because I remember watching Pretty Woman with a girl when I was in high school. And she's all, I love this movie. She's all, it's so beautiful, right? She's like, she's all, the movie, I was a big James Bond fan, right? She's like, oh, your James Bond movies are nonsense. I'm like, no, they have shit. They have stuff like that. They have gadgets like that. That could really happen. She's all, no, a woman like Pretty Woman could really, a movie like Pretty Woman could happen in real life. I said, yeah. Richard Gere's going to pick up a prostitute on Hollywood Boulevard.
That actually happened last night, babe.
Exactly. And then Titanic. Oh, geez. Yeah. I had to take a girl.
Why are we watching?
I took a girl to see Titanic, and to me, Titanic, when it came out, was girls finally had a Star Wars. That was their Star Wars. Yeah. They got a movie they went and saw 50 times, and they dig it. But I remember going to see the Titanic movie. And the first time I saw it alone, because I was a loser, I had no friends, and I went and go see it. And I'm sitting behind these group of girls that are like 14, 15, 12 kids, right?
Yeah.
And they're taking their friend to see it, and they all had seen it. So instead of allowing me to enjoy the cinematic experience,
oh no,
they're saying, okay, now that guy, Jesus Christ, shut up, right? It really bothers
me. Dude, yeah, they're like,
and
oh
then,
my God, just wait, what happens?
Yeah, they did that stuff, right? And then there was two idiots sitting by me, and they're like, when the ship is sinking, they're like, why don't they just call the Coast Guard? I'm like, that's a fantastic idea. Call the Coast Guard. Yes. Let's scramble some F-16s while we're at it.
That would right.
Jesus. And then they cry at the end, like, oh my God, why do you have to die? I was like, well, the spoiler's kind of there, it's the Titanic.
I was gonna say it's the Titanic. People died, and
I told you, Kristian. I told you I met Billy Zane, and he kind of like wasn't really a big fan of the movie,
Really?
No, he's not really a big fan of it.
Now, what was his? Or I mean, is it not cool to talk about? What was his withdrawal on it? I mean,
typecast. After that,
really?
That was all anybody's mind. I mean, you guys are talking to Mark about William Shatner.
Yeah.
Shatner. We all saw Shatner play a cop in T.J. Hooker.
Yeah.
We saw him. I seen him play a doctor in the. Do you guys remember the movie Visiting Hours? He was a doctor in a movie called Visiting Hours back a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
who else was in that?
God, you're doing it to me. Was it Adrienne Barbeau? Some 70s hot chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I've seen him.
Andy's Googling
it. Yeah, thank you, Andy. Yeah. It was some hot chick, some 70s babe was in it. And then I've seen him selling margarine butter, but he'll always be Captain Kirk to us,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Forever.
So Michael Ironside, Lee Grant, Linda Pearl, Lenore Zahn.
Lee Grant.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Was it Lee Grant?
Yeah, Lee Grant.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
And redhead woman. I remember Lee Grant.
Okay. Now you actually you know William Shatner?
No.
Correct? No. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, but you do know some.
I met George. I met George Takei one time. Takei Sulu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I met him when I was 6 years old at a Chinese restaurant. This is no joke. In Chula Vista, California. I'm not joking. Chula Vista, California. I went into a Chinese restaurant with my parents, and every Sunday, me and my mom and my brother and sister, my whole family, they're all dead now, but I would go with them every Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And there's George and a woman and a shit ton of kids. And I'm thinking, it's a big family. I had no idea at the time. I'm like, you got a big family. And I remember, I was older than 6, but it was right after Star Trek 2 came out.
Yeah.
And if you've been under a rock for 40 years, Spock died in Star Trek 2. Sorry, okay? And I
spoilers.
Well, no, I'm not going to watch
it. I'm going to tell you who shot JR here in a minute. Anyway, I remember going up and I met him, and he was one of the first celebrities I ever met was George. And I asked him, it's too bad Spock died, and he's all, no one dies in Star Trek. He basically told me, he gave me the spoiler. Way before the internet, he blew the whistle.
Oh wow.
And you were like, wait a minute, what? No.
Yeah, I did. I got all excited. I'm like, oh my God, is he coming back? And he kind of winked at me. And then he told me that if I told anybody, he was going to come find me and kill me in my sleep. So I never told a soul.
Or other things could have happened.
Yes. No bad about that.
Oh my.
Yes. Yeah. And yes, I was an extra in a Bill Cosby movie when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one?
The Devil and Max Devlin.
Oh, okay. Yep. All right.
Were you one of the 10 people that saw it?
I remember the movies. Because he only did a few movies, right? I mean, there was
no. Cosby did Uptown Saturday Night. Let's Do It Again.
Right.
I Spy, which was a great show. Robert Culp. That was a tragedy of me meeting Robert Culp. Was that I loved I Spy.
Yeah.
And then when I met him, he's like, and he was so rude to me, I felt heartbroken. I mean, here he's on I Spy, did Greatest American Hero.
Right.
I mean, and he's don't meet your heroes sometimes. That's a problem. That's the sad thing.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, now because earlier today, me and you were on the phone talking. You've got, I mean, just because of so your history of all the people you've dealt with and worked with. Let's because this one is my absolute favorite, the Rip Taylor story. I need you to tell everybody the Rip Taylor story, because this is right after the Rodney King riots. Okay.
A few years. Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, and plus it's dealing with LA police. So that's as far as I'm setting it up. That's as far as I'm setting it up.
I can never go back there now. Thank
you. They'll know exactly when they're like, oh yeah, he's coming in on flight 205 Southwest. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Get him.
We're gonna give him an escort.
I don't know if your audience even knows who we're talking about, though. That's the problem.
Oh, lots of people, lots of them do. We have a large demographic, by the way, of males.
Are they old like us?
There's a large percent of it, yes.
Okay, huh?
But in the he was in the Wayne's World too, so people have some reference to Rip Taylor.
We still, we're 18.
Yeah, he came at the end during Wayne Stock. Yeah, he came at the end during Wayne Stock.
I honestly didn't follow the man's career. I just had to. I had to escort him somewhere one time. I'm gonna really water this down because he's dead. He's dead. He was a very, very kind man. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was with him, and he threw confetti on a cop.
Oh shit! Yes, they're driving down the 405. Steven gets pulled over, and he's got Rip Taylor in the car. Rip Taylor always carried confetti around with him because that's the way he was a prop comic, and that's what was his shtick.
And you realize you're telling a story that not even like my closest people know. This is like exclusive, horrible shit you dug up out of my past. Right? Go ahead, continue.
You offered it up anyway. So Steven's sitting there. Steven's trying to talk his way out of the ticket, and Rip Taylor leans over, and what did he say to the cop?
He didn't lean over. We were told to exit the vehicle.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, my spouse doesn't even know the story, man. I mean, Jesus.
and she's on here too. So
yes,
we're letting the cat out of the bag here.
Yeah. Great, thank you. And I didn't have enough marital problems. This is what I. No. And Rip was a great guy. You know what? Honestly, he had a very troubled childhood. Yeah, he was tortured. Not seriously. Dude had a rough time, and I did have to take him from one place to another. I won't say where. It was business related, and he's a prop comic like Gallagher, and and he threw confetti on people. That was his thing, and he's very very laughing and all that. And he's right, pull over, and I'm on the glorious 405 Kristian. I know you don't miss that damn freeway, and told to exit the vehicle. They didn't search the vehicle but they could have, and me being younger is like, well, you do need a warrant, and that's when I learned probable cause. That's where I learned that term.
Yeah.
And he's standing there, and it was, I don't even know what the hell happened, why I got stopped, but I got stopped, and it's an LA cop. Now, if you remember the movie Colors, when Sean Penn's character with the crew cut, the bad attitude, this was this dude, okay, and he just was not playing, and he had the glasses on, the mirror glasses.
Yeah.
And he was, telling us, what are we doing? And I think I cut across. I did something like, I don't know. Like
you did something to annoy him one way or another.
Yeah. And he wanted us to get out. And I remember him saying, like, let me see your ID. And he searched us. I remember patting us down. And he's all, I like to know who I'm talking to. So he ID'd us all that. And while he's doing that, Rip was ripping into him, for lack of better set of words, and joking with him. And he said, and I remember something like, you need to turn that frown upside down, mister, and throws confetti all over the damn cop.
Oh my God.
And he's all, do you know assaulting a police officer in the state of California? I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to jail. Yeah, that was it didn't work out that we all went well, but I mean, it's you're not even supposed to like breathe on a cop, not let throw confetti. And all
especially an LA cop.
Yeah, and all I kept thinking about was like the rest of that day, that cop going back to the station or in his car, like picking up confetti. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
it worked out.
And picking confetti out of his pocket, and they're like, "What the hell happened to you?" He's like, "Yeah, you don't want to know."
Yeah, weird things have happened. There's a funny story he told me too about when Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. Remember that show?
Oh yes,
he was on that show.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Well, not the show. No, not the show. Sid and Marty Krofft. You guys remember Sid and Marty Krofft?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
HR Puffin stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, talk about drug-induced shows, kids, back in the 70s.
Oh, dude.
Well, they do you remember another one by Sid and Marty Krofft? And it was about like hats, Lidsville. Remember Lidsville?
Rip played like Matt is saying yes.
Okay, Matt. Rip played like an evil magician. Remember that? And he flew around in a top hat.
Oh,
Lidsville.
Yes, I do. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, so a fire broke out on the set of Lidsville, and they were filming Sigmund. It was like a big soundstage, right? And little Billy Barty, who was Sigmund, is wearing his thing. And I had a friend who said he saw Rip and Billy going around in full costume, escaping a burning building and stuff. It was like at the end of Blazing Saddles, and everybody hauled ass out of Paramount, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is. Oh my god.
You remember Lidsville, Kristian? You remember the show?
Yeah. No. Once you said he was. Yeah, I totally remember him now. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah. Oh wow. Well, and speaking of drug induced, I was I had quite the precocious youth. So some things tend to slip out and come back in after a little coaxing. So the brain juice has to get running for a while. So
yesterday was Tuesday.
Yeah, right. Well, 14 and a half years of sobriety, some things slip out, but it's all starting to come back. Okay, and what was this other story you were telling me? I can't. So, and real okay. Hold on. Let me get back to what you do and how you came about it. You help a lot of podcasters. This really became kind of your gig, right? That was your thing, was developing the podcasters and helping them get their shows going. Correct?
Well, no, not just podcasters. Yes, podcasters are one of them, but also talent, actors, actresses, directors, writers, people in the arts. Yes, right. Authors. Yeah. Now, I will represent a one-armed gorilla that can juggle. I'm for hire.
Well, then we fit right in. Welcome to the show.
No. What it is I told myself if I ever got in a position where I could showcase people who have amazing talent but yet don't have the platform to be on a show like this, I was going to make it happen. So that's what I started to do.
And here we are.
And here we are, and I would take what I would do is with the shows I would send them people like Cashman or an older, whatever, and I'd create it, and then I'd see shows do great. Kristian, you just hit like some insane record recently, remember?
Well, I was about to allude to that. Thanks to after meeting Steven, it's only been a couple of months.
Yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah, after meeting Steven for a couple of months. We are now, we have the top 3 shows, or we are in the top 100 on Good Pods with 3 different shows. We have number 15, number 28, and 64 for independent comedy interview shows. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you. That is all up to you, and we thank you so much for it. Yes, Patsy, and wee-hoo. That was
well, it was all that day. It was the first day we met, and we went to Starbucks, and you gave me a promise ring, and we agreed to be loyal to each other, and here we are.
And then we did the cut across the hand, became blood brothers. It was really
cool. Yeah.
A couple people passed out at
I got sick and passed out. Yeah. Anyway, story for another time. No, but yeah, it shows, and then I know, Kristian, we can't talk about it, but you got some good news today too.
Yes.
We're not allowed to talk about it.
Yes, and that will be all thanks to you, sir.
Hey, you're welcome.
So we will be announcing that news next week. I believe would be a good time to do that.
So what I do honestly is, like I said, I represent independent artists. So I'm not an agent. I'm not a manager. I've acted in that capacity to a little bit, but not much. And I take artists, like an actor, right? Let's say there's an actor and he or she is building up their resume and they're trying to get out there more. I don't use the term branding. The day our parents got together and had us, we were branded, in my opinion. So I don't use that. Oh, I use a branding. And I was like, it's like, no, I don't do that. I just think that you're an undiscovered person at that point. You just
Right.
need the exposure, and it takes, like, if I was an actor and I'm on your show and I just joined the Screen Actors Guild, or I have a movie that I want to release or whatever, and nobody knows much about it. Well, the three of us right now, our mugs are God knows where in the universe. There could be people in India right now, bored as hell, watching us. And the thing is that you discover somebody. I mean, I don't know who discover me out of this. Knowing my luck, you'll be some crazy stalker that but the thing is that they discover you, or they get to learn more about you. And so that's what we worked with people with Kickstarters, like Kennedy Phillips, people like that. And when we were all younger, when we listened to radio, it was terrestrial. So if I was going from LA to you're a North Cal kid, Kristian. If I was going from LA to Santa Cruz and I was listening to a radio station, I would lose the signal and I'd have to scan and all that. Nowadays we're online, baby, and we're heard everywhere and we're seen everywhere. So
and that is where, and especially if you do end up with a stalker, Patsy Ann will be the one to be able to help you, by the way. But that's her podcast is actually about online dating scams and how she busts these guys. It's great. It is. She's amazing. But anyway, we're gonna get you guys.
So that's what I do. I give people the platform because honestly, and all joking aside, I think that everybody has a right to pursue their dream as long as they're not hurting anybody. And I work with a very diverse group of people. And I
hello.
Well, Kristian, you've seen a lot. You've been on shows, and you've seen no two people are alike.
Yeah.
And I feel that if I am a screenwriter or if I'm a podcaster, see, the podcasting groups I think suck. I think they suck bad. They're good for a little bit for some advertising, but you always get a troll on there. I had a veteran blow up at me the other day. When I did a post, Kristian, you saw it because you invited me on the show. I was like, no one ever has interviewed me, and I don't really do interviews. And you're like, dude, you got to go on my show. That post you saw, I had a veteran who was pissed off at the world and me apparently, and said, you liberal Hollywood blank 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 blank. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
I'm like, he's like, yeah, you guys are all narcissistic pigs.
Oh,
this,
man.
this, and I'm like, Jesus, where did you come from? That, and so, but my problem with the online podcasting groups is, and anybody who's watching the show who's a podcaster will understand where I'm going. You'll have a post on like, hey, my name's Brian and I got a show, and drop your link in the comments section. That does absolutely nothing, in my opinion.
Right.
It may get you 1 or 2 likes, but if you're a podcaster and you go on another person's show, you're going to be seen and your show will be more discovered.
Yeah. Well, and that's Andy is a perfect example of that. That's how me and him met. It was through a group, but we actually engaged in conversation with each other as to where lots of people just like drop a link and then like, well, contact me. No, that's not how this works. We talk to each other, say hello.
And then you get the guys from Mumbai, India, who promise you 25 million downloads,
Right. Yeah.
Yes. We know. And you also know people like an actress, Ashley Lawson, who will be on the show next week.
She's very nice. Yes, yes.
Just a little pre-plug for our next week's show, which will be on Tuesday at 4:00. We're back to normal schedule. But again, and by the way, Stephen Joyner, we are talking to publicist Stephen Joyner of the SJ Network. So if you're an artist, podcaster, if you musician, whatever, if you need connections, Stephen is the guy to get a hold of. It's Steve at sjnetwork.com. Is that correct?
Yes, Steve, sjnetwork at gmail.com.
Yeah.
Steve, sjnetwork at gmail.com.
Right. Okay.
I have to remind myself all the time.
I do the same thing. I'm like, well, see, and I made ours simple. It's just therandomchristianshow.com or at gmail.com. And there's links for Stephen. SJ Network is a sponsor of the Random Christian Show. So his information and link there is on our webpage. So you can easily contact him through just the show here. And Patsy Ann's asking when you're going to be able to get Chris Evans, aka Captain America.
Yeah. I don't know. I do. You know what? I'll tell you what. You're Peggy. What's her name?
Patsy Ann.
Patsy Ann. Sorry. I'll tell you a funny story, Patsy Ann, since you want to know about if you like superhero stuff. I know you guys like superhero stuff. I saw Flash Gordon and Lou Ferrigno get into a fight one
time. Oh, whoa! Who won?
Guess who came out on top of that one?
I'm going to say
Jones,
Lou.
I bet Sam Jones won.
Sam Jones did win.
Yep.
Sam Jones and Lou Ferrigno I saw get in a scuffle, rolling around, and Jones was a Marine before he got into that. And
that's true.
And it was over some nonsense, and they're friends. Everything's cool, but yeah, I saw that happen. I saw Gary Busey almost attack Jonathan Winters one time.
And okay, that's the one I was
the jacket on fire. Yes,
yes.
Gary lit him. I don't know if I want to tell that one because that's kind of. I saw Kristian, because I don't know if she'll ever see this, man. I mean, it's kind of, and I don't want him killing me.
Yeah, right.
He's a wild man.
You guys are still connected.
Everybody loves Busey. No, I had seen Gary Busey with fire. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's a scary thought right there. That's wow. Now, well, so hey, and because it's one of my favorite movies,
what's that?
Pretty much almost all the cast from Big Wednesday. William Catt and Gary Busey.
Is that this left? I knew Jan Michael Vincent. I knew Jan.
Oh, you did know Jan?
Yeah.
Oh,
you know what? If you want to, okay, not very well.
Okay.
I don't want to bring down the mood, but we're talking real. I can't crack jokes and be witty forever. My older brother Bobby died of a heroin overdose over a year ago.
Okay.
And I used to take my brother back in the early 2000s to meetings in San Diego and Pacific Beach, NA and AA meetings.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother, he just couldn't kick it, and he died.
Yeah.
I had gone to a meeting, and Jan Michael Vincent was the guest speaker.
Oh, wow.
And I walked up to him. I talked to him. And I said, I know so-and-so. I knew some names that he would know. Long story short, and he said, here, let's exchange phone numbers. You know, and we wrote them down. And we talked a little bit. I never put him on an interview, never would. But he a lot of these people had tragic endings,
Yeah.
But he was good. But like my brother, addiction's a horrible thing. And it kills people. It's got wonderful things, and it sucks.
Yep. Hey, I'm telling you right now, 14 and a half years sober, and
good for you.
I was on my way. I was there a couple of times, to be honest, and through the grace of God, I stayed alive, and 14 and a half years ago, after my my second youngest was born, I was like, okay, that's it, I'm done.
Well, you have that moment of realization.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you realize for people, you hit their bottom. My brother had a little boy that died. There's a picture on my Facebook of a little boy. That was my nephew who died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, James would be in his 20s now.
Wow.
And my brother and his wife were both smack addicts, and they died negligence. It was negligence. It was horrible what happened. So.
All right.
Anyway, so that, but like I'm saying, that sucks. But I don't think there's anything so bad in life. We get depressed, we get beat down, we get bogged down. But when you get into a groove where you have to turn to a substance in order to just to function that day, that's pretty bad. Now, in the motion picture industry, like any other business, that has been a thing. Okay, it happens, and it took out a lot of great people. I love John Belushi. I mean, there's another that was extinguished way too soon. Chris Farley was an amazing person. I mean, we lost a lot of great people. But so I don't know how we got to talking about that, but it's really it was Jan Michael Vincent. Yeah, there's another guy.
Yeah, Jan Michael Vincent, because I brought up Big Wednesday.
Big Wednesday is a damn good movie. If your audience has never seen Big Wednesday, watch Big Wednesday. It's a good movie.
Oh my God! Because I own it. I was like, I'm getting this, and I have it on DVD, and I'll just watch it by myself. I don't care. I will watch it from beginning to end, nonstop. And it's like it's one of those movies where I'm like,
I wanted to live that lifestyle. I wanted to hang out with those guys, and it's one of the best friends, like buddy movies I ever saw. There's a friend of mine who you haven't met yet. His name is John Hancock. He's a director, and he directed a surf movie called California Dreaming in 1979. Do you remember it with Tanya Roberts and Dennis Christopher? Yeah. John also directed Bang the Drum Slowly and Let's Scare Jessica to Death. And he's a guy I'd love to put on your show.
Oh, Matt's freaking out right now.
Yeah, John. If you look up John D. Hancock, the director, he's a guy I booked on a show today, and he's an amazing guy. He did Weeds and Hill Street Blues and Prancer, a Disney Christmas movie.
Right. Yep.
So I've met a lot of interesting people, and when you get to know people as a person, and like when you get an older name that. Like I like taking somebody that Larry Hankin. Let me use him as an example. You interviewed him, right?
Oh yeah. Yep, we had him on. He was great. He was fantastic.
You guys probably never thought you'd be interviewing Mr. Heckles or Billy or Crazy Carl or whatever. It's weird, right?
Right.
Then you interview him, but then you realize he's just a normal person like us.
Oh, he was great. He was it was just like we were just hanging out in in a bar or something, just sitting there and talking.
Yeah, and you take away like the idol worship and the Mr. So it's a whole different thing. So for me, part of a kick I get out of what I do is taking someone like him or Bruce Valanche, one of my favorite people is Bruce. Have you had Bruce on your show yet?
Not yet. I got to get coordinated with him.
He's awesome, Bruce is. But you get someone like Bruce. And they're iconic people, and you don't know their name. It's like you see a picture. Oh, that guy! It's that guy.
Yeah.
And and then you find out what they do and how they are, but then you get to know them as people. And Larry is just naturally funny, as you both know, because Larry can describe a toaster, and for some reason, the way his cadence of speak, the way he talks.
Yeah.
I crack up every time I hear him talk. Well, man, I can't even imitate Hank, and I won't even try. But yeah, it's funny. He's cool. And I think it was your show. It was your show. I'm pretty sure. You were Gabe's show, where he talks about working with Lucille Ball and how she almost like shake-handed him off a set.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Oh no, yeah, that was us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
it was
you're
great.
good actor, man, but if you get my light again, you won't be one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you out.
Yeah. He called her Butch.
Yeah, I know. He kept saying she was real Butch. We were just like, oh my God, that's awesome.
Larry started out in the committee, guys. He was a comic. The committee, for your listeners and viewers, the committee, Carl Gottlieb, Michael Ailes, Bob Einstein, Super Dave Osborne, Larry Hankin, all of these greats were in Howard Hessman in this group of renegade hippies in San Francisco that did amazing comedy.
Right.
Groundbreaking.
All right. So, yeah, no, talking to him was just like, talking about comedy history. There was so many cool things he was a part of. But okay, now again, Stephen Joyner, publicist extraordinaire. Yeah, you are. So shut up.
I don't use that.
But okay, so we've got your website. We've got a way for you to get connected through our website, which is randomchristianshow.com.
Yes.
But it's also S underscore J underscore network.
Dashes.
Oh, is it dashes? I'm sorry. I apologize.
Network.com.
Okay. Yeah. You say it every week. And now, okay. So we got to get wrapping up here, but I got a couple questions that we try to ask all our guests.
Then I got an announcement for you and your audience. Go ahead.
Okay. So first off, just short edition. What is your favorite James Bond movie?
Oh man.
Yeah, I knew this was going to get you.
Corners Painted. I've seen No Time to Die 3 times since it came out.
Really? So, you posted about that. You were very hip on that.
Fellas. It's good.
So I want to see it.
Can I have like a 3 maybe? I mean, do you have any?
Top 3.
Have you ever met Steve Rubin? That's the Bond guy.
Yeah. We had Steve on.
Yeah.
And I did my Dr. Evil for him.
Okay. Goldfinger.
Yes.
Live and Let Die.
Yes.
I know your audience is gonna lose their minds when I say this, but I actually enjoy Moonraker.
Oh,
I like it because it was a blatant rip-off of Star Wars and sci-fi.
Yeah,
and I like the villain scheme was just so over the top. I like campy. I can tell you guys the virtues of a bad movie. You guys do.
Dude.
Like I recently, you know what I did last night? No one knows this. I watched the 1966 Batman movie out of boredom.
Oh, oh my God, it's a great movie. The surfing scene with the Joker.
So my son watched this when he was growing up because it was just campy and fun and Batman. It was on some streaming service, and he would always ask to watch Old School Batman, Daddy, Old School Batman. Like, okay, buddy, let's watch it.
Well, Andy's a huge DC Comics fan, so
and there's a movie Jaws is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, there it is.
But was that your next question?
Okay, no, our next question totally unmovie related. Now, Steve's at home, he's chilling out, about to have some lunch. You're gonna make a sandwich. What is the sandwich? What is your go-to sandwich that you make for lunch?
Pastrami and rye.
Boom. Sup. Now what all's on it?
Mustard.
Just mustard, pastrami,
just
rye.
Mustard.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes. No
Keep
Swiss cheese.
Keep it simple.
No, dude. Damn. Beautiful.
Nice.
And now the thinly sliced pastrami, the old deli style. Just yeah.
Well, when you were out in California, did you ever go to Jerry's Deli in Studio City?
Oh yes. Oh God.
Arts Deli, Jerry's Deli.
Yep.
There's one.
I had a Reuben there.
Yeah, me and
Mark
had to
have the Reuben.
Actually, me and Marc Cashman went to Uncle Bernie's Deli in Encino one time, and it was just. My wife hated it. She thought it was overpriced, and it was, but she just wasn't a big fan of it.
It is, but it's one of those places you have to go to. If you're in Studio City, you've got to go there. Yeah,
it's gone now. I have a great Facebook friend, Richie Roberts, good dude. He was a manager there, and it closed down. It's gone. That's a place.
What?
It's gone. It's gone. It's done. But that's a place for your listeners and audience. That's a place where you could go have lunch and see Seinfeld having lunch.
I was going to say, you see people in there. That's one of those places. So, all right. So listen, I know, and you probably got to get going too. Stephen, I cannot thank you enough for everything you have done, not only for me in this show, But for all the people out there that you have helped, dude, I know
I
you
try.
you're
I
like,
try.
yeah, well, hey, you do
I've
an
had some
amazing
misses.
job, and
I've failed some people, I'm sure, and I'm sure that people have had higher expectations of me than I may have not been able to fulfill. But I'm just one man, you know. I mean, I give it my best. My mom used to say, "Don't do 50 things half-assed. Do one or two things really, really good," and that's what I
boom,
strive to
right
do.
there.
You
That's what
know,
I'm talking about, and you
and
do.
I get leery when I meet people and they're like, oh, you know, I can fix a car, I can do this. If you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none. But maybe you are, I don't know. But for me, I only know how to do one thing. Like my last name kind of fits who I am, you know. But
Yep.
I
Ooh,
really
good
put my
point.
all into it. And yes, I mean, I don't think that anything is as crazy as it sounds to the podcasting community I'm addressing. A show like this, who's to say you could never be that Chappelle Rogan status? Who's to say that? You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
anything can happen. You know, it really is. It's just it's hard work, and I will. I said you said I'll work with anybody, but there's a few people I won't work with. I want to know this right now. I won't do PR for like religious fanatics. I won't mess with them. So
Right.
if you're Jim Jones, pass me. You know, and
Don't drink the
honestly,
Kool-Aid.
and I will not do public relations for politicians. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm
Sure.
not PR guy for. I'm not that. I won't do that.
Yeah.
I will do PR for a porn actor before I will a mayor.
And we will love to have them as a guest.
Because at least they're honest when they're fucking you, you know.
Oh God.
Sorry, bleep. Sorry.
I don't have a dump button because there's no FCC on the internet. So
Oh, okay. Oh
yeah.
shit. Okay. No,
Yeah.
but I mean, no, I won't. Religious fanatics like ministers who want to just do their thing. I can't. And here's why. It's nothing against it. I'm not like against ministers. Kristian, you know, you and I have had talks about this. I'm not against it, but you could be a rabbi, you could be a whatever. I won't do PR for you because it's just not my thing.
Right.
And if you're
no, you can be faith based.
You be faith based. Yes, I've had clients that have written comic books, Christianity comic books. I've had clients like that. That's fine. But if you're a minister like a Pat Robertson, I ain't your dude. But politicians, if you're running for District 3, I can't do it. You know, I don't, and it's because I think that politics and religion. Now let's get down to it. Really, politics is what drives people nuts. And I've seen friendships. I know a very popular musical. I know the majority of the cast of a very popular musical from the 70s. A very popular musical, and 3 of them will never talk to each other again because of the previous administration.
Wow.
And it's sad because neither one of them have met.
Yeah.
It's sad. So I don't know.
Yeah. No. Well, all right. So, and again, you do a great job. I don't care what you think or whatever. You are amazing. Yeah. You've already pushed us within the past 2. You've taken my show and you've helped accelerate it and grow it. And I just can't thank you enough. And your friendship is amazing. I know we still haven't been able to really go hang out outside of this, but we will, and we're gonna go play some pinball, and we're gonna go down to that place with all the Star Wars, Star Trek stuff.
Do you want to see it? Yeah. Oh yeah. We talked about that. That's the antique shop.
Yep, we got to go down there, and we'll hit that up definitely for sure.
But, well, I do have an announcement to make.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, for those of you watching the Random Christian Show, I have a proposal to make to you guys. Not you guys. You guys are already there.
Well,
anybody that can hear my voice or see this either right now or whenever, this offer does not expire. If you are an author, if you are a small business owner in Kansas City or a surrounding area, but especially if you're an author, if you sponsor this program for 3 months, I will give you my services for free for a year.
Ooh.
All you have to do is sponsor this show for 3 months, and you get me for a year.
Wow.
If you want to know how to sponsor the Random Christian Show, contact him, and he will tell you how much it costs, what it entails, and so on and so forth. But you're not only investing, it's a win-win scenario, and here's why. You get my services, and I don't care what you're doing. You could be writing a book about unicorns that fly and shit gold. I don't care. I'll put you on shows. No, seriously, I'll do whatever. I'll put you out there. Me, I'm not going to throw Aaron under the bus. This is me doing this. Aaron won't do this, but this is me. I will service your PR needs for a solid 12 months, 1 year. It's 365 days, and all you have to do in order to do that is sponsor this program at set sponsorship price, which is between you and the host, for 3 months. It's a win-win. So if you're looking to sell a book online, the holiday seasons are here. Sponsor program.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. So you
heard it here, kids. When he lets me know, I never was good enough for a bachelor auction, and I was never popular enough to play sports. I was like the last dude they picked. Okay, we'll take him. But here's the thing: now that I'm good at one thing on earth, and we've talked about it, and you know what? I am being modest. I am that good.
He is. You have no idea how good he is until you actually get to deal with him. And when he starts, Steve will just call you. Like, he's called me at work. He's like, I got somebody on the phone. I got somebody on. Hold on. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of my job. And I'm like, oh, wait, dude. So I go running off the dock, and I'm like trying to get to a quiet spot. And he's sitting there, and he's like, you got to talk to this guy. You got to talk. I'm like, okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. But I mean, you get connected and you meet the most amazing people. Yeah, seriously, you got to take him up on this. So, therandomchristianshow.com.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. 90 days. You have to sponsor it and hire him for 90 days contractually. And here's a win-win, folks. If you're an author, because me and him know, photographer, whatever it is, if you're the Kansas City area, this is a local show. He's in KC, but you can be anywhere. Whatever it is you want to sell, promote, you can promote yourself. You can promote your film. You can promote whatever. You sponsor his program. Him and his crew once a week do a commercial. He is a voice actor, by the way. And then 90 days, paid in full to him. I don't get $1 of this. I will be your PR guy for a year. You win me free. And this is only now. I want to clarify something. I'm only giving this offer to 2 individuals. I am Willy Wonka. This is the golden ticket. Okay,
there it is.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it for 5 people. But the first 2 people who take this offer, I will give you a year of my life and my services for free if you invest.
Oh my God. Yeah, you better, if you hear this, you better damn well jump on it, because you're gonna blow up.
I mean, what's the virtues? Well, you get me doing what I do for you, and if you're an offer or whatever, you get that. These gentlemen will promote you. Plus, it's a tax write-off too, people. You can write it off in taxes. It's true. That's it.
I can do a nice little voice for you and talk amazingly well.
Yeah, there you go. You'd be a damn fool not to take this. But no, I'm not joking. I will put it in writing. I'm doing this right now.
There it is. All right. So there, the gauntlet's been thrown. Come on, kids.
Yes.
Let's do it. 2 people. That's all we need.
2 people.
Stephen, thank you. Thank you again so much for all you do and being on the show and taking time. I know you were uncomfortable with it, but man, I'm telling you, awesome. Excellent work, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, you guys and all of you, your audio engineer deserves a hand. I mean, that's the guy that's the heartbeat right there,
There it is. John Chaney's blowing us up right now.
John Chaney's on. You know what? A shout out to John. Shout out to Joel Carroll, by the way.
Yeah.
Joel's a great guy. Shout out to Patsy Ann.
Yeah.
My wife Dee Dee Joyner, who felt obligated to watch this. I guess. Everybody who watches this, The moment he'll let me know. The moment that anybody sponsors him for 3 months, 2 people.
There it is.
Yeah.
He contacts me. You get on the phone with me, and I will give you a year of my life.
There it is. All right, guys. All right, Stephen. Thank you again so much for all you do, brother. Thank you. Can't say enough. Stephen Joyner, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, sir. And Matt, I know you've been going wild in the background there.
I'm on a call right now.
Oh, you're on an old school call. Check him out. Is that rotary or dial? Or
get me the president. Get me the president right now.
Stat.
Work. Hello, boys. I miss you.
Get me Crushview 235 right now. Right now.
No, Chris, you remember that old phone that I used to have when I lived in A-Town with the, like he was talking about, had that 20-foot.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I remember at your house, dude. I remember we get tangled up in it.
Oh yeah, and just be like, hey man, I'm talking to someone. You get out of my cord.
All right. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you so much. Oh, Matt, what is for dinner?
Tonight, Patsy Ann, dinner is going to be pork chops, pan fried. I baked a loaf of bread earlier, so there's going to be toast. I am going to fry up a few eggs, and in the pan that I cook the pork chops in, I'm going to use the drippings to make
drippings.
A bechamel sauce.
Oh,
country gravy, sawmill. It's not. There's no.
Isn't it crazy there, Mr. Frenchy words with the bechamel?
Well, I was like looking it up, and I was like, white gravy, country gravy, sawmill gravy, all that, and it's like it's a bechamel.
Yeah.
Yes. John's like, drippings.
And like the people from the South are all like, oh, it's a Southern thing. No, it's a French thing, my friends.
Oh, I love the drippings. They're delicious. Oh boy.
So that's dinner tonight. Oh, hash browns.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Yeah. Speaking of bread, my wife has been and she's actually got her own Spotify channel and Instagram. It's oh my gosh. Lala's House on TikTok. Oh my gosh, I can't remember all the other ones now. Oh my god, I went totally blank. Anyway, LA house. She's going through baking breads and putting it online, and she's finally perfected the sourdough loaf. And it's a round, and oh my gosh, it is so amazing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get done here and go eat some more of it because she just made it today and it's delicious.
Well, but anyway, we just got a new bread maker after the old one, after 25 years, finally is just starting to not work so well. And it has a recipe for a quick sourdough, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Right on. All right. Well, okay. Andy, rum and regrets. Are you working this week?
We actually recorded last night, and we did our thankful cast, which will be out on Friday. So
beautiful. There we go. Yeah. Rum and Regrets dropping a new episode this Friday. And with Stephen Joyner as your publicist for 1 year, all you do is sponsor my show and for 3 months. That's it. And you're going to get Stephen Joyner, the first 2 people. So make sure you check that out. He's amazing. I
thank you so much for that offer, Stephen.
Stephen, that was huge.
And we do have a big announcement for next week as well, and that will be courtesy of Mr. Joyner. But can't do anything till next week, so leaving it under wraps. But in the meantime, gentlemen, I thank you so much again for hanging out with me and joining the show. And wow, and Marc Cashman, I can't wait to get him back on because he's got so much more to tell us. Like, share, and subscribe, and follow. Rating, I found out, is very huge on the old podcast world. So and it's something I keep forgetting to mention. I want to say thank you again to the SJ Network for sponsoring the show. Consolidated Skateboards, our good friends over there. Make sure you check them out. Anybody else? I'm not sure if those are hand signals for me or are you just being fancy.
Matt was pointing, and I wanted to point in the same way, but I'm reversed.
Yes, we are nerds. In fact, I should just put that little disclaimer back up here, shouldn't I? There it is. We're nerds. But by the way, we really have to get Steven back on again because he has some great Star Wars stories, and he's a huge Star Wars nerd. So awesome. Anyway, next week, like I said, Ash will be back at a regular day and time, Tuesday at 4:00. We will 4:00 Central, mind you. We will have actress Ashley Lawson on. Very exciting. She's a new up-and-coming actress. Can't wait to have her on. She's a lot of fun. Very sweet lady. And we got, like I said, big announcement for next week. So make sure you're tuning in then. You can listen to us anywhere you can find us. I hope you all have a great week. Take care of each other. We're all we got. Be good to each other. Open the door for an old lady and kick some mean guy out of the way, or just at least very politely ask him to go away. Andy, Matt, thank you. Matt, again, thank you so much for your direction and fun.
No problem.
Andy, thank you, sir, for being my sidekick and talking way too much. So next week,
I always bring
it down a little bit. All right,
right,
my man?
I will. You got it.
All right, brother. Oh, and by the way, thank you to the Dead Campers for our theme music that we have going on here. They are on Spotify, the Dead Campers. They just put out their latest album and added some new hits to it. So make sure if you even like a hint of this, they have so much other great music going on. Check out the old Dead Campers on Spotify. And we will talk to you all next week, Tuesday, 4 Central with Ashley Lawson. Have a wonderful week, kids. We'll talk to you later.